fucking pissed. I'm sorry. What your thoughts?
No, I'm so irate. And that was exactly what I was going to say, is that women all over the country today should be saying F this with this news about Title IX. It's absolutely terrifying. I actually saw that somebody called this a scheme to finish off the last bare scraps of masculinity in this country. And that is honestly the best synopsis I've heard, because this affects men and women, right? Young men and young women. And the media, I think they want you to believe that it's the right perpetuating this war on women. But the reality is, we know, is that it's the anti-science, it's the anti-biology left. The past 4 years, they have tried to set up this narrative that we're all science deniers to hide what their true plans were. They're tearing down the institutions and norms that they see as standing in the way of progress, which of course just means anti-human, anti-women. And the sickest part of all of this, I think, Megyn, is that parents are going to think, well, my kid's school aren't going to go along with this. My kid's school will say no. But then you find out that the Biden admin is telling schools, well, if you don't comply, they won't get government funding for lunch, AKA they are threatening to not feed children in schools if they don't allow boys to change in front of girls. It's asinine.
I have a little bit more of a cynical
Mary.
take. Yeah, I have a little bit more of a cynical take than Alex on this, because I know you're saying women should stand up and say F this throughout the entire nation, but we know that that's not actually going to happen. They're still going to show up in droves to vote for Biden. And I guess my advice for those affected by the revisions would have been the same yesterday as it is today, which is to the young men on college campuses, you need to keep your head down, keep it in your pants. Don't engage in all of this degeneracy that isn't just allowed, but encouraged on college campuses, which leads to all of these Me Too accusations. And then also to the women, especially the women athletes who are being affected by this, you do need to speak up. And unfortunately, women like Riley Gaines, they're few and far between. They're the exception, not the rule. And that's the dilemma that I've run into every time that I think about this issue, is that women are not going to be willing to assert themselves until they feel it is comfortable to do so. But nothing is going to change until that changes.
That is so interesting. Yes, I mean, of course, you're right. And like Heather McDonald's been writing whole books about this. By the way, she's on the show next week. Love her. About how like this campus degeneracy that's become the norm. Like, yeah, just bang whoever comes across your doorstep. Sure, treat women like shit. Have as many sex partners, get as drunk as you want, as often as you want. Like that is no way to go through life or college. But what we've also seen is really good kids who have done nothing other than start a consensual, loving relationship with somebody on campus get accused, like in the example I was talking to Casey about, where for 5 seconds or like 2 seconds, this one guy didn't have a condom on. It's like they had a condom and then something happened. And then I can't remember if they started without one, but something happened where they were having consensual sex. She wanted the sex. And for like 2 seconds, he didn't have a condom on. And the roommate convinced her that was a rape. The kid wound up getting his life ruined over it. So it's, as the mother of 2 boys and a girl, I see they could go to college campus and act like angels, Alex. And they could still get labeled sex offenders, not even by their chosen lover, but by the lunatic friend who caused all the trouble.
I know. I was so curious, Megyn, how you were feeling about your own kids, because for me, I don't have kids yet, but when I do, God willing, I'm really hoping that I can convince them that they don't need college, that they can build a career without college. That's what I did. I didn't go to college. I just feel like there's so much evidence that this is a hellhole now. Everywhere from elementary school all the way up through university age, I just feel like it's useless. And so I'm wondering, like, are you thinking, I want to try to get my kids to maybe consider other options now? Or are you like, no, we're going to fight this? Or how do you feel?
I would love if they could go to a college like I went to. When I went to Syracuse, they weren't pushing all this stuff on me. It was like slightly not woke, but, more progressive in the way they talked about issues, but only slightly, ever. But I would love for them to get an education in the classics, to go to a university where they sit and they have a class by Victor Davis Hanson, who really gets into history and great authors and that would be exciting to me. I don't know where that is. Liberty, Hillsdale, there needs to be options, right? For people who don't want to travel, who don't want to go that far. I'm really concerned about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm very concerned about it, Alex. I don't know what to do. And I really worry about this issue. I always have since the Obama friend letter. That's what caused all this trouble around Title IX. But I also worry about my daughter, right? Like I used to worry. I don't want her to get sexually assaulted. I do want her to be able to exact justice if it happens, but not in a kangaroo court with no justice, no due process. And I also don't want her to confront penises, Mary, in the locker room or in the bathroom, where we created sex segregated spaces to prevent the sexual assault of women.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that colleges have essentially turned into holding pens for young adults who basically have no other direction to go. And that's how it felt when I was in that stage of applying for colleges. It was just like the default decision that you make at this point in life. And that's to say nothing of the amount of debt that people are agreeing to take on at 17, 18 years old. Is absolutely insane. It's usurious. It is incredibly corrupt. And then you have the indoctrination, then you have the sexual assault, and you have binge drinking culture. And by the end of it, I think that you cannot leave college being the same person when you joined it.
You know, I worry about, like, there was a case, forgive me, I don't know the details of it. I just saw it online today. Riley Gaines tweeted it out and I don't have it in front of me, but it was a group of young women competing in the shot put. And rather than actually throw the shot put against the other team, which had a trans player, meaning a man, these are the girls, their faces have been blurred. Look what they do. They make like they're going to do it, like they're like kind of squatting down, like they're going to hurl these big, heavy shot puts. And then they don't. Watch this. So for the listening audience, the girls are sort of coming out on this circle from which they throw the shot put. They're circling a little. They're kind of bending down with the shot put up like they're going to throw it. And then they walk off. And they're protesting. Good for them. God bless them. They're protesting these schools making them play against a biological male. And I've got real questions now about post these Title IX changes about whether these girls could get accused of sex discrimination, sexual harassment, that these girls could effectively get in trouble or potentially even expelled from a school thanks to Joe Biden, the sniffer of young girls' hairs, right? Like, how on earth is this guy suddenly the moral arbiter of what our young girls should or should not do and say?
Well, supposedly the Title IX revision stops just short of banning schools from prohibiting trans athletes to join women's sports. I just don't have any faith that in practice we're going to see that. But I think, especially seeing that video from West Virginia, being from West Virginia myself, it was hitting close to home. And it was like really cool to see those girls finally standing up for themselves and standing up for what's right when adults around them are letting this ridiculousness reign. And I mean, I think that on a deeper level, this stuff really started when we denied the spiritual differences between men and women, not just the biological ones, although that's really important. That's a really important distinction to make, because how can you protect anyone from discrimination on the basis of sex when you don't even know what sex is? But we rejected the idea that we as men and women have spiritually predetermined roles. And by that point, we were already well on the fast track to this level of insanity that we're seeing today.
Are you passionate about protecting civil liberties like free speech? Well, I've got something special for you. You could consider opening a Donors Trust charitable giving account, a donor-advised fund designed specifically with your values in mind. Imagine being able to support causes that you actually care about, all while safeguarding the principles that matter most to you. Whether it's defending free speech, promoting limited government, or supporting individual rights, your contributions can make a difference. It's straightforward giving, so you can focus on what truly matters, making a positive impact. Your donations are securely managed, ensuring your hard-earned money goes exactly where you intend it to. Plus, with built-in safeguards, you can trust that your support is being used effectively and responsibly. So if you're ready to make a difference, go to donorstrust.org/MK today to download the ultimate survival guide to charitable giving. Learn more at donors, DONORS, trust.org/MK. DonorsTrust.org/MK to download the Donors Trust Giving Guide today. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.